Okay, here I am again.
Schools. Used to think it was bad, probably about 10, 12 years ago. The school system started having closed lunches for the high school. When I went to school, I went to lunch all over the place. I mean, I would go to a dairy, or we had a little restaurants down here you go to. Get in the car or bike or whatever and go for a ride, whatever, during lunch. They can't do that anymore. They lock them in there. You can't get out. You know, you're not allowed to go out or do nothing. It sucks for them. And then all of a sudden there's this people in 8th grade, it's the middle school, they're going to go to the high school. So they got to have a graduation. It's like, what the heck, a graduation? You're still in school. Oh no, and then after that they have their own little prom. Got to buy a dress and all that crap. Stupid. Well, now 5th grade has a graduation to go to 6th grade. And they have a little prom for them too. What's wrong with these morons? They all think everybody's loaded and got all kinds of money to buy gowns and stuff for a 5th grader. It's just stupid. I don't know. When I went to school, I always kind of seen the teachers and stuff, and I thought, you're not too intelligent. I mean, I'd ask them and say, why do I have to learn all this crap? Oh, we're preparing you for the world out there. You just look at them and tell them, hey, you're not out there. How do you know? You've never left. You're in school for 12 years, or you go to college for 4 or 5 years, then you're in school again. You've never left the school. How do you know what it takes out there to live? They don't. They're stupid. Always have been, and they're just getting dumber and dumber and dumber. I don't know. They got 4th grade here. They got them switching classes. Instead of being in one classroom, they move around for all different classes. And why you do that? Well, we don't want it to be such a big deal when they go to middle school and have to switch classes. What the heck? They're going to switch classes when it gets there anyway. You know, why do it now? Keep them in one grade. And it's easy. Teachers are stupid. They can't study more than one subject anymore. You can't find a teacher that knows all the subjects. They just want to concentrate on one subject and that's it, because they're just too stupid to do anything. That's my opinion of the school systems, and they are just going downhill more and more. I don't know. I think it's probably because the government's got their hand into the school system just a little too much. I mean, kids unruly and stuff, they got to call the police now. I say go back to the old days. Take the board out of the desk and smack the crap out of the kid and he'll settle down. Man, they ought to go back to the old ways, the way it used to be. And what they do with these kids in these schools, oh my. They need some boards. And I'd be glad to go ahead and get me a couple sheets of 3/4 inch plywood and make paddles for every one of the teachers. They promised to use them. I mean, Craig, there's a lot of kids in these school systems that are all screwed up because they didn't have their butts beat well enough and hard enough when they were growing up. I think they ought to start beating kids more. You could probably call my generation a generation of Timex. Because, I mean, we took a beating and we kept it going. Kids today, I guess, can't. Poor people. Hey, Keith, where do you usually buy your socks?
Oh, Sock Factory Outlet.
Sock Factory Outlet. Sock Factory Outlet. Sock Factory Outlet. Sock Factory Outlet. Sock Factory Outlet. Sock Factory Outlet. Sock Factory Outlet. We take our socks seriously.
schools. Yeah, it was the same way for me when I was in school. We had open lunches. That was something we all looked forward to. I remember that really well. But you know, it was the class 2 grades behind us that started feeling the grip of the system tightening around the throat of their lunch period. Why? Well, I guess the main reason seemed to be from the calls that the schools were getting from one of the popular lunch sites. They came under new management and they started calling the schools, complaining about the kids. You see, the new management no longer was the owner of the establishment. They wouldn't see direct profits from the everyday traffic of the school kids. To them, that was the part of the day they hated. You know, in 40 minutes, they would have as much business as they were going to have until the next day when the school lunch kids came back in again. You know, if you're the owner of one of these businesses, well, hell, you love the kids. You probably catered to them. You valued their business. But if you're the management working for someone else, then these kids meant that you're probably going to get, you know, blisters on your fingers from working the cash register so much. You know, you're probably going to have to take out the trash maybe 2 or 3 times more, you know, all at once in an hour's time or less. And you're going to have to mop the floor once more a day. And pretty soon you're going to loathe those kids because nobody really wants to work, right? So I'm not saying that the kids haven't changed. I'm just saying that the closed lunch policies didn't actually happen just because of anything the kids did. It happened because of the changes in the management of the stores in the area. And the schools were just basically trying to make everyone happy. Is the school system going downhill? Hell yes it is. You know, at the beginning of each year, I get a letter. All the parents get letters. They're typed and copied and sent to us all. These letters are to explain the basic rules and the expectations, you know, what's expected from the students and the parent. Last year's letter, I remember I counted 3 spelling errors. I counted 9 incorrect uses of grammar. I counted 4 misuses of punctuation. And that was the best letter that I've got so far from any of my kids' teachers. And the darn thing is, these are normally written by the English teachers. How'd this all happen? Well, hell, I'm not sure. But what I do know is that schooling a kid to take a proficiency test once a year and schooling him only to do that is an obviously terrible mistake. I also know that kids are a product of their environment. And if you only program a computer to add and subtract, then how the hell can you ask it to read and write? You know, over in Asia, they're doing it how we used to do it. And guess what? Now they're above us on every level. Health, crime rate, education, you name it. They've got us whooped. You know what I think? I think we got soft. I think the adults of this society look back on our schooling and we remember the scariness of some of the teachers. Remember them? Some of them were scary. How we felt bullied by the people who were charged with raising us and teaching us. I think we decided that we'd do better. And that we'd treat our kids in a less frightening way, you know. And we tried to make the world a better place for everyone to live. Not that that's such a bad thing, right? Surprise, surprise, surprise. Guess what? It went too far. Who would have seen that coming? Well, maybe it was the author of the phrasing, if I give you an inch, you'll take a mile. But that, my good friends, is exactly what's happening. It has come to the point where too many children feel that they are equals to their teachers, to their parents, to adults, to all authority. And just like a terrible disease, it's spreading and it's mutating, you see, because first it was our kids, and then those kids grew up, and now it's even worse for their kids because they're letting up even more. And voila, a cycle ensues, and the entire system is in disarray and in a state of degradation. You know, all good things must come to an end. Just like ancient Greece and the Roman Empire, even the great Egyptians, our time is coming to a close. We made the mistake of becoming too powerful and then letting it all slip right through our hands like sand, our fingers. But don't be afraid. It's not the end of humanity. It's only the end of an era. Will the next society be able to avoid making the same mistakes? Probably not. But hopefully their world won't be the last one either. It's all in the hands of our children now. Most of whom been spoiled to the point of being rotten. But they'll do their best and try to mold the world in the best way they can. To no avail. Soon our knowledge will turn to dust like the mummified pharaohs of the past. And then it'll be time for yet another. All good things must come to an end. So we might as well just sit back and enjoy the ride.
Hey Keith, where do you usually buy your socks?
Oh, Sock Factory Outlet.
Sock Factory Outlet.
Sock Factory Outlet. Sock Factory Outlet.
Sock Factory Outlet. Sock Factory Outlet. Sock Factory Outlet. Yes. Sock Factory Outlet. We take our socks seriously.